Hello, everyone. I hope that you can see the screen okay. Welcome back to segment 2. And so from this point today, we are going to have the PowerPoint presentation. And I would like to introduce some vocabulary from Unit 10. So from this point, welcome to Unit 10. You may notice that this is the last chapter in our book. So after the next couple weeks, we will reassess how we are going to study and learn. But from Unit 10, we will talk about the topic free time. So now, before we get started, if possible, I'm going to move my face up to the right corner. Okay, there we go. And there. So let's get started. Okay, just a moment. Now, okay. Always a few technical difficulties, and then we're okay. So let's learn about some vocabulary from Unit 10. So are you ready? Get ready. A lot of examples and some pronunciation. Okay, so thinking about free time, does the image that you see at the top of the screen bring some feeling to you? These days especially. Do you have any free time these days? I'm curious to know. So first, we will look at some words that we will find in Lesson A from the listening practice. So on the first page, we have 5 words. First, book a flight. Second, camping. I think you know this one. Third, days off or day off. Fourth, discounts. And fifth, exhausted. It sounds like egg, exhausted. So let's start with book a flight. This is a verb phrase, meaning it's not just one word, it's several words grouped together. So I'm going to give you an example instead of giving you the definitions, just like I did before on the PowerPoint. So let me read it and think to yourself, what's your guess? I hope to book a flight to Europe as soon as we can travel again. Book a flight. Let me mention that this is travel-specific vocabulary. So it is commonly used relating to travel. Book a flight, I think you know. Okay, the second one can be a verb or a noun. So camping. Do you like to go camping in the great outdoors? Or do you prefer glamping? Have you heard this word glamping? It means basically fancy camping. You stay in a tent, but it's not a regular tent. Maybe you have air conditioning. Maybe you have a fancy sofa and maybe gourmet food. I have never been glamping, but I think I would probably enjoy it. So camping, in this sentence, are we using it as a verb or noun? Go camping. We're using it as a noun. Now, you might remember from the beginning of last term that we spoke about gerunds, which can be used as the subject. So for example, camping is not my favorite hobby. Okay? What about you? camping, I'm using that as a subject, which means it is acting as a noun. Okay, the third expression, days off. It's a noun phrase. I like to visit gardens or explore a new town on my days off. So do you notice this is also a countable noun? How many days off do you have per year? So what's your guess about this meaning, days off? Okay, the fourth word, discounts. If you shop at all, you like to save money, you have heard this word. So it is a plural noun, plural noun. Do you like to shop for discounts? Or do you prefer to buy at the set price? Okay, so you notice my word or, which means I'm using a contrasting or opposite idea. And the opposite idea is buy at the set price, the given price. So discount will be opposite meaning. All right, so what's your guess? The next word on this page, exhausted. Exhausted. So this word can be a verb or an adjective. So I gave two examples here. Take your guess. I usually feel exhausted after a long day of gardening. Okay, exhausted is describing me. I feel exhausted. Let's look at the next example. She has exhausted all of her strength for learning a new language. She has exhausted. You notice there is a helping verb here, has. So this tells me it is acting as a verb. All right, so exhausted. Do you feel exhausted after studying English? I think maybe the answer is yes. Okay. Now we'll continue on, but at the beginning of segment 3 or even next day's segments, we will talk about all of these words again. Okay, so some vocab continued. All right, we have a phrasal verb first. Figure out, figure out. I like to figure out what to do during my free time in advance. Okay, figure out. This is my body language to help you take a guess. Okay, the next word is reserve. It's a verb. What's the noun? Reservation. All right, example. Let's reserve an afternoon to sing in a karaoke room, or 노래방. Let's reserve an afternoon. So I think you know this word, but take your guess. The third word, round trip. Round trip. We're using this as a noun. When I moved to China, I only bought a one-way plane ticket, not a round trip ticket. Okay? What's your guess? Round trip, coming and going. And this is another travel-specific vocab word. Okay, so book a trip, round trip. Okay, the next word is tax. Tax. We can use this as a noun or a verb. Let's give an example for both. countries with universal health care usually tax citizens heavily? Okay, in this case, we're using tax as a verb. Okay, the second example, if you own a home, you must pay a high property tax each year. Okay, so we have a specific kind of tax, property tax, income tax. What's another way that you have heard tax being used? It's similar to the word we learned before, background, where we have different words together. Cultural background, financial background. So here we have property tax. Okay. The last word on this page is tourist, a noun. Okay, example. American tourists are known to be loud and obnoxious in other countries. I know this from traveling and hearing other people talk about American tourists. Maybe you have the same opinion. So, what's a tourist? I'm sure you have heard this word. Tourist, I-S-T. The ending tells me it is a person. Can you think of other nouns that have IST? For example, dentist, orthodontist, scientist. So these are usually referring to people, often referring to jobs. And perhaps you could have a job as a tourist. That would be very nice. So tour will be the noun or a verb form, tour. Okay, I think you may have a guess. Now, at this time, let's talk about some idioms that relate to free time. So on each slide, I have chosen about 5 different expressions. And we will also talk about some phrasal verbs that relate to free time. Okay, skim for a moment. Skim this page. All right, anything look familiar to you? So we have some expressions. Repeat after me. Catch some rays. Catch some rays. Catch some rays. Okay, second, enjoy a cup of joe. Enjoy a cup of joe. Now, in my regular pronunciation, I will kind of combine cup of. It sounds like cuppa, C-U-P-P-A, cuppa. In fact, the word cuppa is commonly used in England to describe a cup of tea with milk. Okay? What's the meaning? To have a cup of coffee or chat with a friend. I should say coffee and chat with a friend. So example, every week I enjoy a phone chat and a cup of joe with my friend. Okay, now I forgot that I'm just going over some pronunciation. So let's go to the third one. Catch a flick or catch a show. Catch a flick. Have you heard this before? Okay, the next expression. Keep it low key. Keep it low key. All right, and the final expression on this page. Happy-go-lucky. Happy-go-lucky. All right, so let's go back to the first example, catch some rays. Where do you hear the word ray often? Sun ray, for example. Okay, so the explanation is to enjoy spending time outdoors in the sunshine. So if I say, in California, most people love to get outside and catch some rays because the weather is usually pleasant. So another expression might be, if you live nearby the ocean and you are a surfer, maybe you surf on the waves, you will catch some waves. So this means to get some time to go outside and enjoy the sunshine. Okay, and cup of joe, I gave the example already. In fact, you may notice a lot of coffee shops have this title, something about Joe or cup of Joe. Okay, the third expression, to catch a flick or catch a show, is to go watch a movie, or a show might be a play or even concert. But flick is specifically relating to a movie. Okay, so example, I'm free this weekend. We should go catch a flick at the movie theater. Okay, I think in Georgia, the movie theaters are open again. Has anybody been to see a movie or catch a flick? Okay, now the fourth expression, keep it low key. Keep it low key. To make things simple and relaxing. Example, we don't need to do anything fancy for our anniversary. Let's just keep it low key and make a beautiful dinner at home with friends. So you can maybe catch the feeling that don't be stressed, don't take too much trouble, just be relaxed and do something easy, do something convenient. Okay. The last one on this page, happy-go-lucky, happy-go-lucky. So it means carefree, easygoing, relaxed about life. So example, I enjoy being around people who are happy-go-lucky. They make life seem less serious, and it helps me relax. So in my examples, I tried to give you some synonyms or context clues that hopefully help you get a feeling about the meaning. Okay, so happy-go-lucky. I imagine a young child skipping and running in the outdoors, smiling, laughing, enjoying with friends. Happy-go-lucky. Okay, so far so good. I hope if you have any questions, let me know. But let's continue. So on this slide, we will talk about some phrasal verbs that relate to free time. And I thought it's useful because in the previous chapters, we have been talking about phrasal verbs. So all of these relate to free time. Let's talk about pronunciation first. Okay, we have hang out or chill out. These are a little bit similar in meaning. Hang out is, and also chill out, these are probably more common for young people, teenagers, to use this expression, but adults can also use the expressions. So Hang out is to spend time with someone, spend time together. And then chill out is relax with someone. So chill, where does this come from? Pardon me. If you think about your drink, maybe sitting on the beach and you have a cooler with ice and sodas and drinks, just chilling there, doing nothing. Just the time passing by. So chill out is a common expression. Okay, so at this time, I will pause here. I will stop here, and we will continue for segment 3 with a few more phrasal verb expressions, and we can do a little bit of review with all the words so far. So see you in a few moments.